What's good, people? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house. Uncle Fred's Rants. We back. Was wanting to try to come yesterday and kind of talk to you about the game yesterday. We went to Philadelphia and with a kind of a promising sort of start, but the thing ended with a thud and a crash, and we walked out of there with a 41-7 shellacking. But we're gonna talk about that. But I'm gonna go over. It's about 8 plays. If you look at the score, it's like, man, they was out of it from the gap. From the jump, they got jumped on from the jump. They never had a chance. Any of this sort of stuff. And I'm gonna show you about 8 plays that had they gone a different way, outcome it still might have come out that we lost, but it would have been a game where they had to go to into their bag to kind of beat us. And maybe they make a mistake, when the thing gets a little tighter. But because we made these handful of plays that were, I thought the wrong plays at that particular time, and I thought they caused a domino effect of other things that took place in the game. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what all of this means in terms of the bigger picture, and then of course the fans of Philadelphia. The game was marred with fights and all kind of crazy stuff or whatever. But what that means, and will the pressure from that cause the philosophies of some of the things that how we do business, cause that to change? We definitely got to talk about that. All that and a bunch more here at Uncle Fred's. We'll be back in just a second.
Two times on the beat, bitch.
Again, what's good, people? Welcome to Uncle Fred's Rants on the day after. As I was telling you before, I was wanting to try to come on right after the game. The game actually got moved to 12 o'clock, flex for the Minnesota Green Bay game, which was a great game, 27-25. Minnesota. Green Bay had a shot, but they got a first down and salted the clock away. Good game. They gave us the early slot for that game because that, 13-2 team playing 11-5 team. 13-4, a 13-2 team playing a 11-4 team. That's what it was. So yeah, that one's gonna take precedence. So yeah, I want to come, but I had some computer issues with some defrag stuff. All my stuff was lagging, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna try to see if I can get that fixed or whatever. And then it got to be late. And I said, okay. And that gives me an opportunity to see like what some of the other content people were saying and stuff like that. Of course, now I always form my own opinions, but sometimes it's good to hear what some other people are saying and kind of see, how other people are seeing stuff. Now, I watched a little bit of Skywalker Steel this morning, a little Mike Fisher this morning, and saw some things, and I made some comments on both of their shows today and whatever and stuff. So anyway, the game. So like I said, and where are my manners? Happy holidays to everybody. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. I hope they kept the focus of what Christmas really is about in focus and not the commercialization of the whole thing and everything. I just hope your holiday season is good, and as we go towards a new year in 2025. I hope you got everything you needed out of 2024, and I hope 2025 is better for you. All right, having said that, let's get to this. So when the game comes around, so I'm watching the game and I'm like, okay, now we don't have CD Lamb, so you know that. And I thought that might be our last chance to actually win the game because I thought CD Lamb is a will be sort of like a kind of keeps it even because they don't have their starting quarterback. They starting Kenny Pickett. We're starting Cooper Rush. Whatever. And as far as star power, I still think they got the edge in star power. But I think having CD Lamb like, hey, and I think he was playing at a level like, nah, man, I can't be covered. That's what I saw against Tampa Bay, and I saw that against Cincinnati at some points and whatever. So anyway, we're coming to this game, and I'm like, okay, there's a path. Let me get to my things. Yeah, I'm out of sorts. So here we go. The game ended up being 41-7, but it didn't have to be like that. And I think we made some bad play calls and decisions that set that how you play jingle, you pull that thing out and the whole thing topples over. I think you pulled just the right peg out of the slot that caused the whole house of cards to fall over. Let me say this too. I see a couple people that's joining me. Please hit that like if you're watching. Please hit the like. Anybody comes in, please like. Please hit like. If it ain't but 10 people, hit the like, please, if you will. It directs people to the Cowboy content and stuff like that. So, but anyway, there was a path for us to keep this game close and maybe even make Philly sweat. Uh, you know, and but it turned into a laugher. All right, and in typical fashion, Philly fans were poking fun at Jerry. I both like and dislike that. I like it from a standpoint because maybe you do that enough, maybe they'll make you change some things. We'll get to that in a little bit, okay? And maybe he'll change his philosophy. Okay, it's about 8 plays that I think if they had swung the other way, if he'd have made a different decision, maybe this thing wouldn't have took place. Because I thought early, man, we kind of had them in our hand, and we just kind of was like, So, all right, let's get into these plays. And maybe you guys maybe agree or disagree with me on those. All right, let's get to these plays. First play, first drive of the game. Okay. With about 7 plays, a 7th play of the drive. It's 11:15 of the first quarter. 11:15 of the first quarter. Let me do this right quick. 11:15 in the first quarter. Okay, we've got the ball. It's the 7th play of our drive. We're at the 35-yard line of the Eagles. It's 3rd down and 3, and I feel like let's get a good play. If we don't get a good play, let's not turn the ball over. Let's just, whatever. If anything is a 52-yard field goal by Brandon Aubrey, who's money at 50. I think he got like 13, 14, 50-yard field goals this year, something like that. All right. And it was 60 degrees in Philly yesterday. Go figure. Late December in Philadelphia and it's 50, 60 degrees. Man, you can't make this stuff up, man. So 3rd and 3. And so it's 3rd and 3 to 35-yard line. And Cooper Rush throws to Brandon Cooks on a shallow, you can call it a shallow cross or like a skinny post, or like I call it a slant, lined up on Cooper DeJean. But he didn't see that CJ Gardner-Johnson was like laying in the weeds. Now, he had an opportunity to cover Jake Ferguson in the middle of the field or come over to Brandon Cooks. Okay. Now, and Cooper Rush chose to try to. And when you look at the play, because they showed the play from the back, from almost like the 22, all 22 angle, which is like behind the quarterback, and you can kind of see what he's looking at. And if you'll see Brandon Cooks go down the left sideline, got Cooper DeJean on him, and kind of breaks towards the middle. And you see CJ Gardner-Johnson kind of laying back there in the middle of the field, about 15, 20 yards off the field. off the play, and he sees him sort of chase, and it's almost like Cooper Rush didn't even look another way. He went right, just like he was predetermined that he was going to Brandon Cooks on that route, which I don't like Brandon Cooks on slant routes. He's 5'10", 5'9". Yeah, you could say that for Tolbert or one of those guys, one of the bigger dudes, Mingo, right? But so C.J. Gardner Johnson comes up and he throws it kind of high and behind him, goes up, gets it, and not only did he catch it, 69 yards, touchdown, and just like that. I mean, we had a nice drive with him. We had like 6 plays. We got it at the 35-yard line. We done a nice mix of running and passing, short plays and stuff. And Cooks had caught a pass already, and Rico had a nice couple of runs, had a couple of nice little screen passes and stuff. We were just matriculating our way down the field. Then he tries that and it gets picked, turn for a touchdown. It's 7-0 Eagles. They ain't even touched the ball yet. So that kind of made me think about the Green Bay Packer game, meaning like it was 7-0 right out the gate, right? And I'm like, oh, well, there goes that. But interestingly enough, we get the ball and we just like, okay, let's just do what we was doing. Just don't make that throw. Now, what made that throw kind of egregious, though, because if you're watching it, you can see Jake Ferguson is in the middle of the field. He goes down the middle of the field, breaks it off to the right, and there's nobody over there. Okay, the corner is on him, but he breaks away from it. I want to say that might have been Mitchell, maybe, or maybe that was I don't know who it was. I'm trying to guess who it was. But Jake Ferguson breaks away from him, and that was a much easier throw. You just lay that out there to him. Jake Ferguson probably still running if he was able to hold on to the football. We'll talk about that later too. But he chose this one. It was a lower percentage throw, and you kind of threading it between a corner and a safety, and this one's kind of like wide open. Made the wrong pick, and it ended up being picked, and it was 7-0. But like I said, you would have thought that would have deterred us. But no, we get the ball. We employed the same philosophy, short game, Brandon Cooks, nice little underneath stuff, little 8-9 yard throws, little 4 and 5 yard runs by Rico, throwing it to him out of the backfield, runs by Turpin, 8, 9, 10 yard runs for him. Just matriculating down the field, man. And then we get all the way down at first and goal from like the 6-yard line. I'm like, man, we had a third down and I want to say 12. And, man, he laid that thing out to Brandon Cooks along the right sideline. I'm like, shoot, man, we getting this thing. Brandon Cooks, 4 catches at 52 yards. Get down inside the 6-yard line, first and goal. Go up top. Jalen Tolbert, who's, been, look, man, he is who he is. Catches it in the left side of the end zone, goes up. It's really high pointed, goes up, strong hands, comes down with it, touchdown, just like that. 12 plays, 70 yards, touchdown, 7-7. Now, here's the thing. Jalen Tolbert, man, has caught a touchdown in 3 straight games. Caught one against the Carolina Panthers, caught one against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and caught one yesterday against the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't look now, but Jalen Tolbert got 6 touchdowns this year, most on our team, tied with CeeDee Lamb. Okay, now more about him and his whole thing later when I talk about Ferguson or whatever. But 7-0, it's 7-7. Okay, now the next play that I thought that went crazy for us. Now defensively, I thought we were doing pretty good all the first quarter. Everything the Eagles was trying to do, we kind of understand they got a quarterback they got to break in. This is Kenny Pickett. First year with them. He's with the Steelers last year. He's a first round pick. And it's like, we didn't see enough of that. And they went. So it's like, and he's a totally different quarterback from Jalen Hurts. So not really, he's more of a pocket guy. He can move some, but it's just a different kind of thing. And I think it's a guy that if you get pressure on him, you can make him wet the bed, right? And so I think they had some issues trying to get the ball running. I thought we were good on Saquon Barkley early. They were trying to run him and establish him early. And we was in our nice run fits. We was doing all that stuff right? So here's the next play that I thought that had we did it different, So the Eagles get the ball, and they go 3 and out. We get the ball back again. So it's 3:47 of the first quarter. The first quarter is moving pretty well because they got the pick six, and we get the ball. We're going a 12-play drive. That took up 4, 5, 6 minutes. So they go to get the ball. They go 3 and out, and we get the ball back again. Right. So some minutes have gone on. So it's 3:47 of the first quarter, and it's 3rd down and 6 from our own 12. Right. And they elected to just run it up the middle with Rico Dowdle for 4 yards and give the ball back to the Eagles, which in a vacuum, that's not a bad play because it's like, okay, two series ago, you threw an interception. You definitely don't want to throw an interception down on your own end of the field. I definitely get that. But understanding, you kind of holding Philadelphia at bay right now as far as offensively with your defense. You kind of want to possess the football. So you kind of got to marry those two philosophies. Yeah, you want to be conservative to a degree because you don't want to turn the ball over on your own 12-yard line. But it's 3rd and 6, and I thought maybe you would do something a little more that had a better opportunity to get that first down so you can kick. Because you could have potentially ended the first quarter on that drive had you got, whatever. So they chose the conservative approach. Greg Olsen said, no, that's kind of a conservative call right here. I thought they met him, but they tried it with that was the same call you would give if it was like 3rd and 15 from your own 10. You're going to call a running play. It's a give-up play. We live to fight another day. But I thought, given the circumstances, Philly got a high-powered offense. They got stars all over the field. You going in there with a ragtag crew. You can't. It's like you holding the dam back. You can only hold it back for so long. I thought we needed to kind of get the first down there and possess the football rather than tempt fate and getting the ball back. But we punted. We gave them the ball back. Okay. And so on that particular drive, on Philly's drive, they go 3 more plays. They tried running Saquon in Wildcat, and he got like 5, 6 yards. And they had it on 3rd down and 3, and they stuffed him. Kendricks and Leofow playing their butts off, man, stopped him short of the first. And I'm like, okay, so that made that play didn't matter now, okay? Because, the 3rd and 6, because they end up stopping him again, all right? So I'm like, cool. We good. We dodged that bullet. Now we get the ball and we can score again because realistically, had Cooper Rush not thrown the pick 6 on the 7th play of the first drive, we're in field goal range. That's a 52-yard field goal for Aubrey in a 60-degree weather. It could easily be 10-0 right now because the Eagles had done nothing offensively. All right. And right now, with us having the ball for a 4th time, actually. Yeah, 4th time. I'm like, we got an opportunity, had Cooper Rush not thrown the pick 6, to actually put them in a hole where they may have to change their philosophy. That's why I'm saying if you do a couple things different, the game might have been because, while it's 7-7, you got chances to do all kind of stuff. You still in the game. It's anybody's game. But if it's 10-0 or 13-0, okay, maybe we got to kind of speed up the thing a little bit. Maybe that's when teams make mistakes. You got a quarterback that ain't used to doing things, right? All right, so we get the ball back. The first quarter is about to end, okay? First quarter stats. Got them right here. The Eagles, we have 117 yards, okay? Eagles have 14 yards, okay? 0 first downs, okay? All right, so the next play is 13:01 of the second quarter because after we got that drive, we get a couple of first downs. We get first down on the 20. We get a couple of first downs. So now we got 3rd down and 1. Here we go. We got 3rd down and 1 from the 42. Okay. This was interesting on this play. We got 3rd down and 1 from the 42-yard line. So we at the line of scrimmage. Cooper Rush is under center. They got Zeke in the game. Whatever. 3rd down and 1, 42-yard line. Call a timeout. Call a timeout. Okay, call a timeout. So they come back. Oh, they in shotgun now. Zeke's still in the game. They in shotgun. I'm thinking they're calling a different play than the one that they ran the first time, before, the timeout. And they throw a deep pass to Jonathan Mingo. Now, if you watch the play, Jonathan Mingo runs a good route. Runs it on Quentin Mitchell. Okay, runs a good route. Stacks him. Kind of does a little stutter, and goes up the line. And I liked how I hate how some wide receivers run their route so close to the sideline that it don't give the quarterback a place to put the football. You know, I like how he started about 12, 13 yards away from the sideline, did his little stutter and kind of faded a little bit towards the sideline to give the guy an opportunity to throw it. He was open, stacked the guy perfectly. But the thing that he didn't do right, he didn't find the football. And I disagree with Will Skywalker still. He said he thought he threw a moon ball. It wasn't a good ball. I disagree. I thought it was a good ball. He threw it where you're supposed to throw that. You're supposed to throw that over the outside shoulder, because if you look at the quarterback's view of the throw, the C.J. Gardner-Johnson is over his inside shoulder, lurking, right? So if he throws it over his inside shoulder, that easily could have been picked, but he throws it over his outside shoulder. The problem is Mingo never found the football. And when it landed in bounds, where if he'd have been paying attention and tracking the football like he would have been, he'd have found the football. That'd have been a nice 40-yard gain, because he ran a good route, and he had good route and understanding of where his placement is on the field, and gave Cooper Rush a good place to throw the football. He just didn't find the football, and it ended up going incomplete. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, end up punting. My problem with that is, why didn't you just run the football and get the first down? Get the first down. I have never been in favor of going for broke on a 3rd and 1. Now, 3rd and 10, I'll give you that one, okay? Because you got to get yards, right? Might as well get, more than enough. But 3rd and 1, come on, man. Got Zeke in there. Let him plow ahead, get that 1 yard, get that first down, spread them out, run it up the middle, run it out, run off tackle, get that first down, keep them chains moving. Because I'm like, oh, you done gave the Eagles back the ball, so they finna get the ball for a 3rd time. You do know that dam is about to burst, right? You do know that it's because you really, with all that firepower they got, and I know they got Kenny Pickett, they got an all-pro offensive line. Cam Jurgens at center. You got Landon Dickerson. Okay, you got Malata. Okay, you got Mekhi Becton. You got Lane Johnson. You got an all-star front, and you got the best running back in the NFL. It's only a matter of time when they start getting them angles right and get the blocking scheme right and the timing and stuff right, that they're gonna break some of them. You got to have maintained the football there. And another first down there, and maybe you could have kicked the field goal. It's 10-7, whatever. And just a matter of, imagine if you'd have called those other plays right and have gotten it. It could have easily been 13-0, because the Eagles don't even have a first down yet. So they get the ball, and they get like a little 2-yard pass to, I think, I want to say it was Devontae Smith. And then on the very next play, Kenny Pickett throws, I don't know what the heck this was. Leofau came in and hit his arm, and he basically throws the ball down on the ground. But then the refs call, I thought, was a bogus call, man, to give them their first down. Their first down was in the 2nd quarter, like maybe 10 minutes to go in the half. They ain't had a first down yet, right? They got like 20 yards of offense. Devontae Smith tried to run like a short comeback, but Andrew Booth just held his position. And basically, Devontae Smith ran into him and turned around and tried to get the football. And, of course, that would have been like, it'd been 3rd down and like 9 or something. But they gave him a first down on illegal contact. Greg Olsen even said it. I said it too. And we was at the restaurant watching the game. I said, and I'm not listening to the sound because I'm watching, in a crowded space. And I saw it, and I was like, that's not illegal contact. That cornerback is entitled to that spot. He can just hold his position. You can't run your route through him. You got to go around him. He's entitled to that position. And lo and behold, when I get back and I go through the game, Greg Olsen says the same thing. He said, I don't know if that's illegal contact or not, because the cornerback's really just standing there. He's entitled to that spot. But they gave them illegal contact, and that gives them an automatic first down. And of course, then that leads to this next play, because I thought if they could have stopped them there, that bad call gave them their first down. So it goes to about, this is I think like the 4th bad play I thought that went the Eagles had a couple of bad plays. They threw a pass to Saquon. He got stopped for like a 6-yard loss by Eric Kendricks. Played a good game early, man. Played him and Leofau. And so the Eagles was faced for a 2nd and 16. They threw like a little out pass to A.J. Brown for like 6-7 yards on the sideline. Bland pushes them out of bounds, leads them with a 3rd and 9. So that leads us to the other play that I thought with 8:45 to go of the second quarter. Okay, it's 3rd and 9 at the Eagles. I want to say at the 46-yard line, at their 46, right? And so they go back to pass, and Kenny Pickett rolls out to his right and hits Grant Calcaterra on a 34-yard gain on Israel Mukuamu. So look, man, I'm gonna say this, and I've been calling for Mukuamu to get some more playing time. As a lot of us been calling for like Wanye Thomas get more playing time, and some of these other guys, and maybe it's a point where some of the guys are not getting the playing time because maybe they're not as good as we think they are. And a lot of times we value these guys and think these guys are a lot better than they actually are. All right. So if you're Israel Mukuamu and you really, really this is a make it break it year for you, you really feel like you ain't really been getting a lot of snaps, you really got to make your snaps count. Calcaterra runs like a little, out and up, whatever, and it's sort of like a scramble drill trying to play, and he just kind of breaks it downfield. Mukuamu's there. I mean, he didn't beat him. He's there, but you got to find the football, man. You're a safety. I'm guessing he's playing safety on that play because I think Bland had him, and then he gives him off and covers the receiver. That's why I don't necessarily like zone defense because there's too many things you got to think about. I got him in the shallow zone. I'm gonna hand him off to another guy and all this kind of stuff. And what if that guy don't realize he got you in this? And that's how things get messed up. Blown coverages and stuff. You never always see a blown coverage in man. It's just the guy maybe just wasn't good enough to do anything about it, right? So the ball's there. Mukuamu's there. Calcaterra's there. He throws it over the outside towards the sideline. Mukuamu just don't find the football. I mean, dude, just go and knock that ball down. He's just kind of there and lets him catch it. A 34-yard gain. You can't give up a 34-yard gain on 3rd and 9. You just can't. Not if you're a dude that's trying to get playing time and trying to make a play. You don't have many plays. So you can't just give up a 34. And I thought that was huge. Okay, reason that was huge because now they're at the 23, 24-yard line. Yeah, they're in the red zone now almost. Okay, so they run a play to Saquon on the sideline, a little dump off pass. He gets tackled, but he thinks he can still run. They go back and they said, no, he got tackled at 1 yard because Bland pushes him on his knee. They run a play up the middle, get 1 yard down to the 22. Very next play, which is my next play. I'll go down here. My next play that I think, which was about like, I want to say it's like maybe 6 minutes to go. A little over 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. And what are you gonna say? Kenny Pickett hits Devontae Smith left side of the end zone, touchdown, beats Andrew Booth. Now, and this play right here is indicative of why I have problems with how the Cowboys run business. Okay, you end up with arguably their best receiver. You could say A.J. Brown, but you're talking about route running and the intelligence and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying it because he's a Bama dude, because I'm Bama through and through. But Devontae Smith is just a smart, tough, intelligent, wide receiver. A little slight, but he makes up for that in toughness, intelligence, headiness, understanding route concepts and stuff like that. So you essentially got their best wide receiver on our worst corner. And it looked like he was our worst corner. Lined up on the inside. I want to say they ran some sort of action that had Jordan Lewis kind of cut to the inside. It was a man concept, and Devontae kind of runs and cuts it to the outside, and Booth is kind of in trail position from that point on and never really aggressively goes after him. And he just kind of runs to the corner of the end zone. Pickett lays it right out there, and it's a touchdown. Now, at first, I thought that was Bland. I said, dang, Bland? How you just let him do that? And then I said, oh, that's 25. It ain't 26. That's Andrew Booth. Okay. Now, the reason I say that play is indicative of the two ways that our two teams operate, because the goal of the game, and this is something that's not something I came up with. Vosh Lombardi says this all the time. You got to find the scrub. Find the scrub. Find the worst guy on their team. Put your best player on that guy and let's boogie. Okay? They found Devontae Smith. Oh, you going to cover him with Andrew Booth? Shit. I like them chances all along. Meanwhile, on that very play, who do they have? They got Micah lining up against Lane Johnson, their best offensive lineman. Lane Johnson got like 2 pressures all season. You're gonna line Micah up on him. The goal is to find the weak link in the offensive line and rush him at that guy. Because he was a stalemate. Basically, he's on the line of scrimmage stuck. Couldn't do anything. Because it's good on good. That would have been like the Eagles insisting on putting, you cover Devontae Smith with Deron Bland, who's our best corner, or Jordan Lewis. But no, they find the scrub. Put the scrub into action. Just like on basketball. When they see a guy that's on the court that's a bad defender, they call for the screen. They get his guy to come up to set the screen, so he comes up on the offensive player. Find the scrub. But we try to find the best player. We want to put our guy against the best guy. That's going to get you beat every time. But they found the scrub. We found their best player. We didn't get any pass rush. He was able to sit back there and make a lollipop throw. It's a touchdown. Meanwhile, I think we line him up in the middle of the field, make that center have to make a decision on Micah's speed. Maybe he has to hustle. Maybe he has to move or something. But they went good on scrub. We went good on good. And for that point, it's 14-7. All right. So from that point, the next play, very first play, is it wasn't the first play. It's like the second play. It's a couple of plays here. We got It's 6:38 of the second quarter, and we got 1st and 10 at our own 30-yard line. We just had it on our on the 20, on the 30, and it was the very first play. Throw a little 9-yard hitch route. If we run a tight end hitch route to Jake Ferguson, he goes up to the 39-yard line and fumbles the football. I think the fumbles caused or recovered by Jordan Davis. Look, man, I like Jake Ferguson. Okay. But I'm fixing to go my little diatribe here on us and how we feel about our players. Look, man, I like Jake Ferguson. I know all of our players, if you ask them from the beginning of the season who guys we think is next going to be on the Pro Bowl list. And I know Jake Ferguson went to the Pro Bowl last year, but it was like as an alternate. He was like, sometimes guys don't come, whatever it does. The Porter's playing in the NFC Championship game. Obviously, he can't go. And some other guys, Kittle, he's in the NFC Championship. Obviously, he can't go. So you get Kittle's in the Super Bowl. Okay. You get Jake Ferguson. Okay. That's understanding how things go in the NFL, right? And of course, at the beginning of the season, he's the next guy. He's the next guy up, man. He's the next, tight end. The next tight end, he's gonna be better than Mark Andrews and all these dudes. He's gonna be better. Fine. He's got potential, right? And Travis Kelce has said he sees something in him. He's been the tight end I know they got this thing. He's got that thing about him, right? And I know a lot of guys ain't had a good season this year, but Jake Ferguson has not been good this year. He got hurt in the first game. This is his 4th fumble this year. Okay, 2nd fumble he's lost. Incidentally, the other fumble he lost was against the Eagles as well earlier in the year when we played them back in Dallas. Back in Arlington or whatever. He had a fumble against the 49ers. Okay. Had a fumble against the Giants early in the season. Okay, on his first game back, because he got hurt and didn't make the Baltimore Ravens game because he had a hyperextended knee in the first game. But can we start to think that can we kind of come to the realization that sometimes these guys, when we draft them, because I think that's kind of the Cowboys' issue. We think the guys that we have are somehow overvalued. We think they're so much better than they really are, and we don't give them an opportunity or a space to kind of make their way. We already done put this dude in the Pro Bowl. Look, I don't think I'm not, and they talked about this on Skywalker shows too. And I'm not saying I don't think Jake Ferguson's not a good player, and I don't think I'm not saying he can't get to those heights. But sometimes we overvalue our players, like I was saying about Jalen Tolbert. We really thought he was going to be what, hey, we get rid of Mari Cooper. Yeah, this guy going to come right in. Look, I was trying to tell people then, dude, I live in the SEC country. Okay, and I know South Alabama is not an SEC school, but a lot of the athletes that come from this area, the Alabama, Tennessee area and stuff. So I'm in Alabama and I'm watching Alabama and I watch SEC football and I see sometimes they play these teams from the outside the conference. I see them all the time. I had never heard of Jalen Tolbert. That's not to say he couldn't have been, but I'm like, no, I there's some other dudes around here I ain't heard of this dude. So I'm like, no, we thinking this guy gonna turn into, he just might just be just a serviceable receiver. And that's kind of what he's become. Jake Ferguson gonna be the next guy, because it's our guy. We love our guys. I know the front office does it. Sometimes we as fans do it. I like Jake Ferguson, but can we kind of maybe think, maybe he's just a nice tight end. Maybe he's not gonna be the next guy. Maybe he's just gonna be a nice tight end. Not saying go draft one to replace. I'm just saying maybe he's not gonna be the star that we think he's gonna be. Dude's got about 55 catches, 57, 58 catches this year. He don't have a single touchdown. And I know we've had some things go on this year, whatever, but maybe he just not, maybe not having Dak maybe hurt him a little bit too. But can we maybe put the anointing oil away on some of these guys? I'm just saying. But Jake fumbles that. That was a play that, we almost got a first down on the first play. We could have did some stuff. Maybe we could have did something, but we didn't. And it's 14-7. And of course they get the ball and they get a couple. They ran a couple of those tush pushes. They get a couple of them. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a rant on that tush push. Look, man, they're running, in my opinion, what amounts to be almost like an illegal play. I mean, it's not illegal from the standpoint, but I mean, it's an unorthodox kind of play. You got all the linemen all bunched up together. You got the running backs and all that right behind them. Everybody all bunched them. That's sort of like a rugby play. It's really like not a play. And I'm saying if you're going to allow that play to be, then you gotta give some grace on how you defend that, because they gave us a daggum offsides penalty on that, because guys kind of line up a little. Because if you don't give them, if you got to line up completely off the foot, damn it, you got no chance of stopping that play. If they're gonna run that play, you can't stop that play. Yeah, he had his finger hanging over where the ball was, offside. Dude, you gotta get some grace on that play. If they're gonna be insistent upon letting that play, you gotta get some grace on how you defend it. Okay? Yeah, let them line up on the ball a little bit on that one. Give them an opportunity to stop that play. Because the play is unorthodox. It's not a lineup and just running, and you just, a quarterback sneaking this and everybody. No, you got guys actually pushing dudes from behind on that play. Okay? Can we have a little grace on that play? A little bit? Just a wee bit? I'm just saying, since the play is so unorthodox. And I'm not saying stop it. Outlaw the play. Because I know if the Cowboys is good with that play, I would not want them to stop it. But I'm not going to say that the teams don't have some sort of methodology to stop it and bend the rules a little bit to stop it, because we're bending the rules to do it. You ain't supposed to be pushing players from behind. You ain't supposed to be doing that. So, they got a couple of tush push plays and got a couple of them. And then they got in 3rd and 9, they end up kicking a field goal. So that fumble didn't hurt us that bad, but now it's 17-7. All right. So now it's starting to get away from us, because now we're down 2 scores. And we really, since Cooper Rush has been quarterback, I don't think only the Carolina game have we scored 4 times. And like, okay, we have to score 4 times for 4 touchdowns in order to win this game. Right now, we got to score 3, right? 3 scores, whatever. So the next play I thought was key to us losing. It's okay. It's right before half. It's like maybe 50 seconds of the second. It's 3rd down and 6 at the 42. Cooper, I gave you a lot of guff on that first one you threw to Jake. When you should have threw it to Jake Ferguson, you tried to force that thing to Brandon Cooks. But there ain't no excuse for this one. He winds up and throws like a 45-yard bomb into triple coverage. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was back there. Quinton Mitchell was back there. I want to say Cooper DeJean was back there. Everybody was back there. It was just a matter of who wanted to pick that one. So it gets intercepted at the 10-yard line, and he returns it to the 30, 35. Now, on the surface, had they tackled him where he got tackled at where you intercepted at, that's like a punt. I ain't sweating it. Because if you're going to throw an interception, throw it on a deep ball, and it's like a punt. I ain't gonna cook your bread for that one. But you threw it, and, of course, guys is out of position. He catches that thing, catches a dead runner, and returns that thing to the 35-yard line. First play after that, that's the first play I think that because I think he had like 15 yards rushing up into that play, 25-yard rushing up into that play. I think he had like 11 carries, like 25 yards that play. 12 plays, 25 yards on that play, and up to that point in the first half. Of course, now that we're thinking they're gonna throw it, they run it to him. He gets 15 from the 35 to 50. Okay, timeout. They got a couple timeouts left. And I'm like, okay. If he don't throw that deep on him, we just play football. They probably don't get the ball again before halftime. See, you see how this is running? Those things all things linked to the next thing. But because he threw in the triple coverage and they intercepted it, because if they punted to the end zone, they start from the 20, that probably not happening. But he threw the interception, and the interception got ran back to the 35. And he got a 15-yard play on first down because Leofau was running back into pass coverage, and they ran right up the backside. And Saquon got 15 yards. Gives him 40 yards at half on 13 carries. Very next play. 49-yard go route to Devontae Smith on Andrew Booth. Down to the 1 yard. I thought he scored. I thought his knee was down, but he had to stretch the ball across. I thought that was a 50-yard touchdown. But they called it at the 1. They ran a couple of tush pushes, one that didn't go because his knee was down. And then they called a timeout, and then they ran another one with like 2 seconds left, which I thought was real chancy because they don't get that one, the bad snap, they don't get that, they don't get no points. And they could just kick the field goal or just run a conventional play that has a chance, whatever. But they ran it. And, of course, Micah jumps over the top, which I've been telling people, you can't stop the tush push going over the top because you end up riding on the back of the offensive lineman like a parade float, and they get it. Kenny Pickett just kind of slides over to the left and into the end zone. Touchdown, just like that. It's 24-7. Ball game's over at that point. We got to score 4. We got to score 3 more times. I mean, we probably have to score 4 touchdowns to win this game. We only done that one time. It's 24-7. Now, what made that play bad is that, again, Andrew Booth. Skywalker still calls him Andrew Wilkes Booth. Like he assassinated our chances of winning the game. He's a bad corner. I mean, that was just a go route. It's like, dude, you can't cover that. You can't play cornerback in the league. You just can't. Now, he's been on the team, been put on the practice squad, he's back. And I understand. We're on like our 8th corner. Diggs is out, for the season. Kalen Carson, wherever he is, he's out. We lost Josh Butler with an ACL on the Thanksgiving Day game. It's a bunch of other dudes just come in and left, have gotten hurt. So we on we didn't keep Stephon Diggs. We didn't keep Stephon Gilmore. I keep coming back to that. And so you have to run out there with an Andrew Booth who probably is not a cornerback in this league, probably. He probably, if he was to go right now, we said, I don't think nobody's picking that dude up. But I think he stays on the team because we gave up our draft pick to get him. We gave up what's the guy's name from Oregon State? We traded for him right before the season. So we're gonna make that thing work. So all these plays put together put us in a 24-7 hole. Now, I thought one of the more egregious ones, I was telling you about the thing, and I kind of forgot to bring that up there on the 3rd and 1, the Mingo play. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry called down to there and calls that, hey, y'all trying to run. Why don't we get old Minga a play here? Old Minga. Because we got to make that 4th round work because we gave him a 4th round pick to get him. I forgot to mention that when I was talking about that play. But yeah, they called a timeout, and they was under center before the timeout, and they came back in shotgun. I'm telling you, they called a different play. I wouldn't have been surprised if Jerry called down and said, "Get old Minga in that game," and that caused them to, not get the first down. Punted them on that 3rd possession, ended up getting a touchdown. It's 14-7. And then we, fumble on the very first play. Ferguson fumble. Field goal, 17-7. Throw it in a triple coverage with about 50 seconds to go in the half. Runs back to the 35, 15-yard play to midfield. Booth gives up a 49-yarder to Devontae Smith. Push, boom, touchdown, just like that. It's 24-7. Then second half, they get the ball, they come down, they get a field goal, run, and then that's when Saquon Barkley start to do his thing. Start to get I think he had about 35, 40 yards on the first drive. So he up like 70 yards. Then they get a field goal. It's 27-7. It's over there. We down 20. We don't get anything. We going 3 and out. We're getting the ball back, and and now at this point, Saquon is getting some. Then on this particular drive, they hit AJ Brown on a little out play. He really got 4 or 5 plays earlier. And I mean, Bland had good coverage, but it would have been a one-handed catch, and he had a foot out of bounds. And on that play too, Micah's actually being held that they don't call, had his hand up under his neck right there. Go watch that play. Micah's getting held right up under his neck, and he's like, "What? I can't get a holding call there." And that would have probably, then of course, 2-3 plays later, he gets Bland on a touchdown catch, and at that point it's 34-7. And then late in the game, they bring McGee in the game, and because Kenny Pickett's getting hit, with ribs and stuff. And they bring McGee. Guy ain't even I don't think he's even played in the NFL. He's like, a guy never even thrown an NFL pass, from Stanford, right? And throws a touchdown. And of course, now I'm gonna tell you something. They threw that was against zone coverage, and Devontae Smith kind of comes out, goes across the middle in zone coverage, and just takes off down the field, and nobody picks him up. Closest one to him is Bland, but it really wasn't his guy. It was zone coverage, whatever, in that particular play. That wasn't man coverage. And touchdown, 41-7. Ball game's over. So when you look at all those plays, you look at the thing, you would think they dominated them front to back, top to bottom. But if you just did them 8 plays, if those 8 plays was different, if Cooper Rush don't throw the pick 6, because that gave them 7 points. And it was like 8 minutes to go in the first half before they got their first down. They had like 30 yards of offense, but you gave them 7 points. Okay. You didn't go for it. You didn't get a play that you could have got a first down on second, 3rd and 6 on your own 12, which I kind of get that one. I'm not going to bake your bread on that one. All right. And then you go 3rd and 1 and you go deep to Minga when you just should have got the first down, keep the ball and see if you can score. You're not going to hold that offense back but so many times. Okay. So play calling, in addition to us not having as good a team, let's face it, we're not as good as the Eagles. I just document how good their offensive line is. Okay. But even when they don't have Jalen Hurts, did you notice they also don't have Dallas Goedert? He didn't play either. They played Grant Calcaterra. Okay. And they still are light years better than us as far as talent goes. Offensive line, we got ragtag dudes. You can take Guyton or Chuma Adoga. Both of them, neither of them dudes would start for the Eagles. Okay. The only guy on our offensive line that the Eagles would make the Eagles team is Tyler Smith. I like Cooper Beebe, but he not old boy 51. I can't think. And I said his name earlier. I can't think his name again. He's not him. Okay. I like Brock Hoffman. He not Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson a Pro Bowler. He ain't them dudes. Okay. Yeah, we like Terrence Steele. He ain't Lane Johnson. They better. Offense, wide receiver, Devontae and AJ Brown, probably the best pair of receivers in the league. Cooks and Jalen Tolbert, it's not even close. All right? Running backs. Rico Dowdle, I like Rico Dowdle, 23 carries, 104 yards, had a nice game, got over 1,000. Golf clap for him because he really wasn't even the first pick on our running back board this year. They trying to sprinkle in Zeke, but he got 1,000 yards, man. Shout out the first time an undrafted guy's got 1,000 yards for the Cowboys. Yeah, go get your money now. I ain't gonna be giving that dude no $4-5 million, but if he goes out and gets the market for him at $3-4 million, get that dude that money and go draft us a dude still, right? But he not Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley in the second half of that game, like I had 136 yards, 31 carries, 167 yards. Ended up with 2,003 for the season. He gonna get that record. He's light years ahead of Rico Dowdle or Zeke. He's better than Zeke and him and Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn. You can add all them up, and it's still that stack don't stack up to Saquon Barkley. They've got a better team. Defensive line, yeah, we got Micah, but they also got Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Brandon Graham. They got some dude named Vaughn they got from the Saints. He every bit as good as Kendricks. That's a even Steven Kendricks. And then, of course, they went and got guys in the secondaries. Slay's pretty good on him giving up too many plays. Quinton Mitchell is decent. Cooper DeJean is going to be a safety. They're probably as good as us, or not, maybe a little bit better on defense. I think they got like the number one defense. Dude, they're a better team than us. Okay, they just are. But I thought if we played the game a certain way, we could have kept that thing close and kind of kept it where the talent gap wouldn't have been as obvious. But of course, we weren't able to do that because we get in our own way. We try to think we're better than we are. We try to think we're smarter than we are. We're trying to think that, we can just run this play here. We got to get Minga in the game, or Jake Ferguson trying to do too much, or we're trying to, whatever the case might be. The quarterback's not reading the field right. He's trying to dial it between two dudes instead of throwing over here to a wide open Jake Ferguson, or throwing it into triple coverage when it's really just nobody there. Just throw that thing away and punt it away, and maybe we get out of the half at 17-7. Maybe it's still a game, because later in the game we end up in the red zone and Rico Dowdle fumbles. But if it's 17-7, maybe we get a touchdown to 17-10. That's all I'm saying, is that you get those plays end up being dominoes. So anyway, 24-7, and so that way. So let's just get into what this game means. We're ready to close this video. I said I got a couple of chats in here. At the end of the day, y'all got blown away, Uncle. End of the video and become an Eagles fan. I'll never become an Eagles fan because there's no culture in Dallas Cowboys organization. They need a real GM. That I will agree with. Okay, that I will agree with. Now I'm gonna tell you why I can't go with the Eagles culture, because the Eagles culture, you curse out your own players. Yeah, y'all do that. Y'all curse out your own players. Y'all own players are cursing, going in and cursing matches with your own team, with your own, with your fans. Yeah, I'm not taking y'all's culture for nothing. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I will take. I will take Howie Roseman and how he chooses a team build. I will take that. I ain't taking nothing else from the Eagles. I'm going to take that component. Give me that slice of the pie, and you can have the rest of it. Okay? Because you guys are brutish, arrogant, vile, all that stuff. So no, I don't want nothing from the Eagles but Howie Roseman and how he chooses to acquire talent, how he, if you need a guy, let me go get a guy, that kind of thing. Not trying to make headlines in our acquiring. I'm not trying to make sure the news knows what I'm doing. He'll make a thing like nobody knew they got Bond. Didn't even know who Bond was. Bond making plays. When we got Eric Kendricks, everybody knew we got Eric Kendricks because we want to make it known. That kind of stuff. That's the difference. Ain't got nothing to do with that other stuff. I don't want nothing else from the Eagles. Nothing. Y'all ain't got nothing else I want. So you can take that and stuff it. Now, you don't get me started because I abhor the Eagles of everything in my being. Okay? And at the end of the day, y'all been around 30 years longer than the Cowboys. You got one Super Bowl. We got 5 of them. Y'all bringing up the rear in the NFC East. Everybody else wondering when y'all gonna get more than one. Even the dreaded freaking Giants got 4. Come to me with that foolishness. Y'all the Eagles. Y'all stay with y'all in the bottom, in the basement. But I'll take that Howie Roseman every day of the week. Don't get me started now. You want to get me riled up? Start talking about, oh, we need to be the Eagles. We try to do with the Eagles. We try to. You see the Eagles got the better culture. No, they don't. Because they was cussing out Jalen Hurts. Dude done took y'all to a Super Bowl. We get a guy going to a Super Bowl. They trying to give him a statue. No, not taking y'all's culture. I'll take y'all's GM though. All right. Now moving on. What does this mean? Now, speaking of y'all's fans, I'm going to take some of y'all vileness, and I hope it does us some good. During the game, some of the Eagles fans was banging on the box that Jerry's in. It's fine. I don't mind I don't care what y'all do to him. Okay. And at the end of the day, y'all had no first downs for almost a whole half a game. So it ain't like y'all dominated the whole game. We had y'all but the talent level at some point is gonna pull away from it. They just got more talent than us. Some point you gotta, you gotta play, the talent wins the day. Y'all got more talent than us. That comes from who's picking the talent. Ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Has to do with who you got running the team. They were saying, Jerry, man, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. We love that you're running the thing. We love what you're doing here. We love everything about you. He's smiling like, yeah, they're talking to me. And I'm like, fool, they said you're a garbage GM. And as long as you GM, they know we're going to have the upper hand. That's what they're telling you. Okay? That's what they're telling you. And as long as you do that, what you're doing, we're never going to be what we could be. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's about putting talent on the field and having, the coaches to coach that talent. If you watch the game as we close this video, if you watch the game, you can see a lot of the times Eagles were thrown to wide open guys and schemes that worked against the defenses that we were putting out there. That's good play calling. Even with Kellen Moore, Kellen Moore, there's some things I didn't like about Kellen Moore, okay? Because I thought he didn't run the ball enough. But you got the offensive line that they have, and you got Saquon Barkley in the backfield, about to run for 2,000 yards. Dude, if you don't run the football, that's malpractice, okay? And I thought sometimes Kellen Moore gets too cutesy pie. I ain't seen that a whole lot with the Eagles. Too cutesy pie with the offense, okay? And he's sticking to the formula, okay? And you got enough talent to win it. Notice a lot of our pass plays we running. If it's not something underneath, we're throwing it into coverage. Everybody's covered. That lets you know that the scheme is elementary. We're running like middle school schemes against everybody else got cars with electric cars. Our schemes is horse and buggy. So that's what's going on here. And so we got that going on, and until we figure that out, until he figure out like, man, they got a better team than we do, much better than us. And 41-7. Now I don't think that's how the game really was played. I thought them 8 plays aided in them getting the margin that it was. But make no mistake about it, if the Eagles was able to establish themselves early in the game, it could have easily still been 41-7, because I think the talent differential between the two teams is just that. But then why is the talent differential like that? I'll give you an example. We get very close. Earlier this week, me and my cousin TK were doing our Pick'em show. Check out our Pick'em show. We did. I got a couple of them wrong yesterday. The Giants won, and I think the Raiders won. A couple of teams I thought had no business winning, they won. I think the Vikings won. I had the Packers. But, we get a pick 'em show with good analysis. Go back in the video archive and check that out. We put out some good analysis. But anyway, we was discussing this game on our show. And something TK said. He says, I think Saquon has an opportunity to get the record with a good game against y'all tomorrow. This was Saturday, obviously. He said, and then, of course, then he going to get the coup de grace against the Giants. And that would be good because that's the team that let him go. That never valued him, And of course, now, he said, now, to get, getting a good game against y'all. And so, how y'all are susceptible against the run. And I thought about that. And I was like, now he says that, and he's not a Cowboys fan, but he said, yeah, how y'all susceptible against the run, y'all tend to be. And I'm thinking back and saying, now how long has that been a thing? I go back to the Rams game in the 2018 playoffs when they ran for like 273 and had 2 backs for 100 yards, and they held the ball for like almost 40 yards of offense. And we that's always been our Achilles heel. Can't stop teams from running the ball when they decide to run the football. So if you've known that's been a problem for like, how long it's been? 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3. It's been a problem for 6 years. There's been some legendary games against us against the run. Buffalo Bills threw the ball 15 times, ran it for like 240 yards, 220 yards, whatever it was, on 49 carries. Green Bay in the playoffs threw the ball 22 times, ran it for like 150. Baltimore this year, ran it for like 235, threw the ball 15 times. New Orleans this year, threw the ball 15 times, ran it for like 191. If you know that was an issue, and it's been an issue, a recurring issue for years, why the hell haven't you fixed it? Just saying. If you know that's been a problem for years, why haven't we fixed that? And even in this game, when the push came to shove, second half, we just lined up and run the ball. And how they run the ball, too. You notice how, what's that guy's name? I keep saying, what's the center? Number 51. I saw runs where he takes the snap, he pulls, and comes out there and runs. Man, we don't run no creative stuff like that. Can't run the ball for the most part and can't stop the run for the most part. Those are fixable things. Jeff Southland, man, is one of the best offensive line coaches. Mike Solari is a joke, man. Because we just line up and just hit the guy in front of us. Just hope we make a hole. Ain't no misdirection. Ain't no pinning and pulling. We don't run none of that stuff. We run a very basic offense, both the running and passing. And the question was asked, man, you think, we're going to bring Mike McCarthy back? It'll be more of the same. So I'm not giving you no good prognosis, Cowboy fans. I don't know what the prognosis is. They bring Mike back. I don't know, because he bring Mike back. You bringing Cooper Rush back. It's going to be the same offense. He's not changing the daggum thing. We run the same basic offense. Probably will we do more in free agency? I don't know. Steven already said we're already broke. Broke before they say we broke January 1st. We don't know what the new year bringing us. We're already broke. Really? So I don't know, but maybe that scathing that the Eagles fans gave Jerry, maybe, just maybe, it'll ruffle his feathers and make him change his philosophy. Okay? Maybe it'll change his philosophy. Maybe it'll make him be just like the fans are. We look over at how the Eagles run their team and we thinking,
I'm trying to see what that be like, man. I'm trying to see what that be like, man.
I had to say that. I had to put that out there. Because when we look at other teams, that's what we think. Just like Mike Epps just said, I wonder what that be like. I wonder what it be like for a GM that really trying to win and not trying to sell tickets. I really would love what it be like to allow the football play and the excellence on the field to drive the marketing instead of trying to make the marketing drive the football. In other words, you want the horse pulling the cart. Cart been pulling the horse for 30 years. I put that in Mike Fisher's comments when he was talking about, well, look at how the Commanders, shout out to the Commanders, as much as I bag on the Commandos, the Commodes, the Commanders. Commanders got a big win last night. Touchdown to Zach Ertz. They're in the playoffs. They're 11-5. They actually took our place. That's what we're supposed to be. But they made moves. And Mike said, yeah, well, he made changes. Got new quarterback, got new head coach, new play caller. And some dude called him on the carpet like, yeah, Mike, but yes, there's more to it than that. You got going up another rung. They also changed ownership. Mike ain't going to say that. Mike Fisher ain't saying that. He ain't going to say they need to get another owner. He ain't going to say that. But they got changes at every leadership position that have anything to do with the team. New owner, what's his name? Josh Smith, is that his name? Owns the Sixers also. New general manager, Adam Peters. New head coach, Dan Quinn. New offensive coordinator, Castleberry, Queensberry, Castleberry. It's one of those two from Arizona. New quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Boom, 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 boom. You say, oh yeah, they made changes at the quarterback, offensive coordinator, head coach, and general manager. Yeah, also got a new owner too. That's what the culture get changed at, but he ain't gonna say that. If you're not gonna change the ownership, at least the ownership gotta change the way they do business. And he said, well, we're not saying that because I'm saying, no, you gotta say that. He said, I don't want to talk about the get rid of Jerry and the other kind of stuff. He said, no, the problem is we're a marketing team that operates, that plays football sometimes, and that's the philosophy that they employ. I said, no, it's about removing them, even though they're not going nowhere, because that's their philosophy. As long as they're here, that's the philosophy that they're going to employ. They're going to always lead with the marketing and clean up with the football. That's what they're going to do. But anyway, man, Cowboys lose 41-7 blowout. If you look at the yardage, it really wasn't that much of a difference. I think 270 to 340. First downs, 20 to 16. Them handful of plays, man, kind of, was Jenga. The whole stack of blocks fell down on us. Maybe, and then of course now, don't look now, but our second game in a row also been flexed to the 12 o'clock slot. We'll be playing the Commanders, who've already cemented their seed in the playoff. Probably gonna be resting some dudes. Got another issue too before I close the video. What was the deal with punting the ball with 1:03 left, 1:04, or whatever the case that was with Trey Lance in the game, and you're already down 41-7? What you punting the ball for? It's 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6 at your own 3rd, 20, 30. What are you punting for? Just for the Eagles to take the ball and kneel on in the game over. You may as well should have just see what he could do. Since you done burnt a 4th round pick on this dude. See, that's the difference in organizations. The Eagles was never burning a 4th round pick on a dude that's never going to see the field. At least we're going to see what the guy can do. punt it with a minute and some change left to go on fourth down. You down 41-7. What the heck are you punting for? Anyway, man, like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed, man. 12 o'clock next week, Commanders. Maybe we get to win. Maybe we see some more Trey Lance. On the game, hey, man, we're a losing team now. We won that game. Maybe win that. We're 9-8. Now we're going to at least be 8-9. The most we can be is 8-9. So we're a losing team now. So does that bring Mike back or does everything stay the same? Tune in next week. All right, man. God bless. Catch you guys. Happy New Year to you guys if I don't catch y'all before then.